Hey drummers, how's it going? It's Alan here from DrumGrades.com, and today I thought I'd give you a little studio tour. Let's go! Yes, hello guys, welcome inside the studio now. I've got a bit better audio, so hopefully you can hear me a bit better. Just as a bit of entertainment while we're all living through this change at the moment, I thought I'd give you a little tour of my studio and show you some equipment. This is all about drums today, guys, so hopefully you'll like some of the equipment in here. So we built this studio, oh God, about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Me and my dad and our good friend Dave with some other helpers got this project literally off the ground, and when I built it I never had a clue if it would work or not. I put an awful lot of money and time into it, or we put an awful lot of money and time into it, and I never knew that when I hit the first drum whether it would be too loud for the neighbours, and it was all a waste of time and money. But thankfully it all worked great, and I've been using this studio for well over a decade to teach. I've managed to do recordings for people all over the world in this studio: New York, Nashville, France, Germany, all across the UK, all in this little room here in Poole in Dorset, which is kind of incredible really. I've done full band rehearsals in this little space with 4 sweaty guys making loads of noise. The Guitar Heroes have rehearsed here before. Yeah, it's just an amazing space. It allows me to do so much, and I would not be without this room now. I really wouldn't. There ain't no guitars in here, people. It's just drums, drums, drums. So let's get down to business. Why don't I take you through a few of the little bits of equipment I've got in here. Starting over here with my daily driver, as you might say. This is a 1970s pink champagne Gretsch. Now this little guy here spent the first decade of its life in the West End on the musical Hairspray. I normally like to make up that it's a bit more of a macho stage show than Hairspray, but hey, what can you do? That's where it started its life. But I think that's pretty cool, a decade on the West End for this old girl. So this is a classic 4-piece setup. You've got the 13, 22, 16, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love this kit for recording. It's most definitely in what you might call player's condition, so I wouldn't probably take this kit out on the road with me. It's a little bit rickety and a little bit worn in areas, but I absolutely love recording and playing this kit. It sounds really cool. So yeah, this is the Gretsch on the snare drum at the moment, and I'll take you round the other side in a sec. I've got a Ludwig 402, which is kind of like your John Bonham style snare drum. That is, I believe, an 80s Ludwig 402. I love recording with that snare. It just sounds great. And at the moment I've got a little bit of an unusual setup going on, because I've got the 8-inch DW Collector Series Tom, which is from another kit I'll show you in a second over here. And I just put that on there just to have another option up top, and it kind of gives me that Taylor Hawkins, Dave Grohl type vibe, but also maybe a bit Roger Taylor as well. So when you want to do those sweeping tom fills, you can get that sort of effect with that. So yeah, at the moment from a cymbal point of view, I've got some Zildjian cymbals. I've got a lovely 22-inch Constantinople ride, which is literally the most glorious ride. Thank you Austin Oslane from Absolute Music, who always sorts me out with incredible equipment. Guys, check out Absolute Music. It's the shop to go to if you want anything at all. And the drum department there, and the guitar department, in fact the whole shop regularly sorts out the story of Guitar Heroes. So if you guys need anything at all, check those guys out. But yes, Austin from Absolute sold me this beautiful 22-inch Constantinople ride. I love that. This cymbal over here, what have we got? A 17-inch Projection A Custom Crash. and a little 8-inch K-Splash. And this one, guys, you can see featured in the Story of Guitar Hero show. I use that one quite a lot. And over here also my 18-inch crash. This is an Istanbul Exist. Again, this comes out on the road with me. I love that cymbal. It's really, really nice. Cowbell. Yeah, got to have a bit of cowbell on there. Yeah, and actually the hi-hats are really cool. I bought these again from Austin at Absolute Music. They are a pair of 14-inch Zinn hats, and they're really flimsy, but they just record great. So I love those. Microphones. So I've got predominantly Sontronics mics, a pool-based microphone company. If you've never heard of Sontronics, check them out, guys. They're amazing. On this bass drum, there's 3 mics, believe it or not, because inside the kick, I've got a Shure 91A. 91, yeah, 91A, I think so. And then here, believe it or not, this drum in front is actually a microphone. This is a Yamaha sub kick. Yamaha, another amazing supporter of the Story of Guitar Heroes. Thank you, guys. This is, believe it or not, a speaker which has had a bit of wizardry done to it. This has been turned into a microphone, so this kind of picks up all those sub frequencies. If I can get it back in position. This picks up all those sub frequencies. So on its own, it doesn't really sound like much, but when you mix it in with the other microphones, it sounds really, really cool. So yeah, that's the sub kick. Oh yeah, hey guys, check this out. If I need to call somebody, oh hello. No, this is actually a microphone, believe it or not. Again, a bit of wizardry from the guys at Absolute. Turned this old phone that I bought for £5 at a charity shop into a microphone. So the old speaker in here, you reverse the polarity, put an XLR thingy on the end. Again, I don't know. And then you can turn it into a microphone. So this is really cool for those. This is really cool for those sort of like telephone speaker effects, of course. And again, on its own, it sounds a little bit rubbish, I must admit, but when you've got that mic underneath all the other cool mics on the kit, it sounds really cool and kind of adds that layer of distortion under, which creates a nice effect, I think. So yeah, anyway guys, maybe let's have a look down here at some snare drums. So these 2 beautiful snare drums here normally come out on the road with me with the Story of Guitar Heroes. We've got the Ludwig 400, which is, I think, if my knowledge is correct, the most recorded snare of all time. Not this exact one, of course, but this is a 70s Ludwig 400, and this is just a gorgeous snare. Sounds beautiful, really snappy, really consistent. The old stuff is always the best, I think. I love old equipment. I love playing it. It inspires me to play, and I just find it more, yeah, interesting because it's got history. It's got a bit of a story behind it. So yeah, this is the Ludwig 400, which I use on my 60s Ludwig kit, which the camera is currently propped up on. I'll show you that in a minute. And then here we have a really interesting snare drum. Believe it or not, guys, this is the only snare drum of its kind in the world. This is a DW Craviotto snare drum made out of spruce. This snare drum here was a prototype and never actually got put into production. So it does have 2 brothers. It's got a slightly deeper brother and it's got a slightly thinner brother. And I think one of them stayed at the DW factory and the other one went off to an incredible session drummer. And here is the other one left with me. And again, this came to me by way of the great Austin Oslane at Absolute. So this is made out of spruce, which is the same wood that a lot of very expensive violins are made out of, and it's signed in the middle, made in '94. I love it. It's got such a unique history because it's the only one of its kind. It's handcrafted, and you guys can see this live on stage with the Story of Guitar Heroes when we play the Les Paul section. How High the Moon by Les Paul. This snare drum comes out on front of the stage with me, and you guys get to hear it then. So that is the spruce Craviotto snare drum there. So cool, guys. What else have we got down here? Check out this big old bass drum. I don't know why did I buy this? I have no idea. I just love having weird stuff in my studio that I can use for recording. So this is an almighty, what, 26, 28? I don't even know how big it is. I think it's quite old. I think it might be 40s, 50s. But yeah, every now and again when I want a cool big bass drum sound effect, I grab that guy out. So yeah, that's everything. I know nobody else in the world has a crash that looks like that. They probably wouldn't want it, really. Would you want that? I don't think you would. All right guys, so over this side of the room we've got the 1960s Ludwig in silver sparkle. This guy got flown over from Brooklyn, I believe, and I bought this about 3 years ago, I think, and it is literally the nicest kit I've ever owned. I'm a massive fan of John Bonham, the almighty John Bonham, and of course anybody that loves John and Led Zeppelin will know about Ludwig drums. Incredible. So I picked this up a few years back. It's another 22, 16, 13, same configuration as the Gretsch, and I just absolutely love this. This one goes out on the road with me with the Story of Guitar Heroes. It went over to Paris with me when I was recording with a great French singer called Louis Delors, and this guy recorded beautifully and I absolutely love it. So yeah, this is the 1960s silver sparkle Ludwig, and it's amazing. And also guys, over here in the corner is the almighty master himself, John Bonham. There he is, look. Now, if I ever get any notions of wanting to learn guitar or maybe swap all my drums for guitars, I would come and speak to John and say, John, I've had an idea, I'm gonna start learning guitar. And then he just speaks to me and says, Alan, stop all that nonsense. You play a proper instrument. Forget all that notion of guitars, keep these drums. And I say, thank you, John, I will do just that. So every time I need a little bit of a pep talk, I come and talk to John and he puts me back on the right course. So guys, over in this corner, we have a 7-piece DW Collector's Series in, I think it's called Black Velvet finish, which is absolutely gorgeous. Maybe I could just bring this drum a little bit closer to the camera. I love this kit. It's got an amazing amount of sentimentality, this kit, because when I was about 19 and I was fresh out of university, I studied at the Academy of Contemporary Music with such famous alumni as Ed Sheeran, Newton Faulkner, Toby James from the Story of Guitar Heroes, and many more besides. When I was fresh out of graduating from that college, my mum and dad, who just have supported everything I've done, without them I would be nowhere, literally of course, but from a drum music career perspective, those guys have just like given me everything. They said to me, you need a proper drum kit. You can't be using your Pearl Export anymore. Not that I don't love a Pearl Export, of course, but they said, we want to get you a proper kit. So they brought this for me, and this is a custom made, ordered for me in my specs at the time, 7-piece DW. You can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drums here because I've got the 8-inch tom over on the Gretsch kit, and I've got another floor tom in the house. So I've got 20, 16, 14, 13-inch snare, 12, 10, 8. So 7-piece kit. And I keep this just because not only is there a lot of sentimentality to it, but also because it's got a bit more of a modern sound than the other kit. So if I want a bigger kit or something, I can use this. So yeah, this is the DW Collector Series and it's amazing. So yeah, I love it. So that's it. There's my little tour of my studio here in Poole, my drum cave. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm going to be uploading loads of DrumGrades videos over the coming weeks and months. So if you guys have got any questions about what I do here, or if you want to know a little bit more, all you guys have got to do is get in touch with alan@drumgrades.com. So in the meantime, guys, I'm going to leave you a little bit of drumming on this 1970s Gretsch. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you real soon.